Hello everyone, it's Derek824 here, and today I'm going to be showing you how I make my Star Stable edits. So let's just get started. I didn't mean to say so, but I just kind of went with it. So anyhow, let's start off with what programs I use. So these are my two main ones right here: Medibang Paint Pro or Fire Alpaca. I've used Fire Alpaca for most of my edits, and Medibang I've used for my drawings for the most part because it's a little different than Fire Alpaca, but we're going to be using this one today. In Photoshop, I have not really gotten the hang of yet, although I have been practicing here. As of this moment, I am using my Wacom, I forget exactly, I think it's Wacom 1 tablet. So, I'm not using a mouse. So if the thing is a little shaky, that's why. It's because I'm actually holding a pen, and this is with my hand moving. But once you open Fire Alpaca, I have it kind of arranged the way I like it. So then you're going to go into File and Open whatever line art you want to use first. I mean, you can do it in any order. You can add screenshots first or whatever, but I typically add the line art first. And the line art we're going to be using today is going to be... Shoot, where is it? Oh, I just saw it. Nope. This is too difficult. There it is. So it's very blurry, and that's because I simply screenshotted it and then saved it. But once we have this, credit to whoever drew this. I did not draw this. But now we're going to open our screenshots, and so you can either open it that way, where you just hit open and you can pull up your files. But I do it like this, so we're going to minimize that, and then go into my files and find my screenshots that are buried beneath all of these. I don't know what exactly they are, they just appear, and so then I just select them all at once, or mostly all of them at once, and then just drag them to the application. And so then when you open this again, you're going to have all of your screenshots.
And so my tips for taking screenshots: you're going to want just a basic one of for the body, which we're going to start with first. So in order to select the horse, you can either just use the eraser all around it, and then use your lasso tool and select it. But I find the better way is to go to this little thing, select tool, choose polygon, and then see if you realize here this is not a very good shot of the horse's head or neck, and so we're only going to select the body here. So we'll just go around the mane, or it doesn't even matter, we can leave some of the mane in there, and then you're just going to start selecting around here. I started to say something and forgot what it was. Oh, all the screenshots are for different things. Like this is the full body one, and then these are for the left legs, since you can't really see them that good in this screenshot. And then I also have one for the neck and head separately, and of course one of my rider, because this edit is going to hopefully be of my character riding this horse bareback. So as I said, just go ahead and select your horse's body, and then we will go from there. And so now once you've selected everything that you want to select, you can just go ahead and double tap that. Now you've selected your horse. So now what you're going to do, you're going to go up here to edit and copy that. Then come onto your line art and paste it. And so now it's going to automatically go into a separate layer. But I like to do the horse piece by piece because it's easier.
So we don't really want the horse's legs as of this moment, so what we're going to do is we're going to take, actually you can just move it into one layer for the time being, but just select the horse's legs. And then there's another way of adding this into a layer, just you press a button and it goes into another layer. But I don't know how to do that, at least on my keyboard, so what I do is I just copy, wait, okay, yeah, I messed that up. No, we don't need that layer. I'm sorry, everyone. Copy that, paste this. And then you're going to uncheck that layer, come onto this one, and delete it. And I'll just delete stuff by pressing delete on my keyboard. And so now we have the horse's body. And again, I like to do this piece by piece, so we're going to select his shoulders, and do the same thing, just copy it, and then paste it to another layer, and then uncheck that layer, delete it from the original layer, and do the same thing with his booty. And this just makes it easier when you're doing the edit itself, because the thing is, if you select something and move it, and it's in the same layer, it's gonna you'll see what I mean.
Alright, so now we're just left with this. And so we have all these layers unchecked, and it's just fine. So what you're going to do what I just did is you're going to press Command and T at the same time on your keyboard, and it gives you this little, I don't know how you describe it, but so this horse was facing this direction, our line art is facing this way, so we're going to have to flip this. And so now we're going to make it big, and all you have to do really is just play around with it on these little spaces here. So I'm just going to try to line it up as best as we can. And also, if you hold down Command, you can move the picture and kind of like warp it to how you want it. See how this is dark right here? I kind of want that underneath of, I want that there, so I don't have to do shading because I'm lazy. But that looks about good, I think. Maybe just back a hair. And there we go. I think that's the best that we can do. And so now check on your other layer that you want to do. I usually do the butt next. But the reason we are doing it in separate layers is because if you were to put this over top of this, it would become one, and so you couldn't move this again. So if you place it and then realize, I don't like that anymore, you can move it. But if you had it in one layer, you cannot do that. So that is why I do it in 2 different layers. Or just I do each and everything in different layers. So again, Command and T, and then you're just going to do the same thing for back here. And it's pretty easy once you get the hang of it, honestly. And so now this horse is galloping. Yeah, thanks, Captain Obvious. And so now what we're going to do is we have our horse's body here. So now we're going to merge everything together so that it's all one again. And this is going to be very difficult to do because of this horse's pattern. But we're going to we're going to go to the brush tool and use blur. A lot of people use the smudge too, but I find that blur is easier. And so it doesn't look so messed up, we're just going to blur everything together. And so we're going to go back and fix all of the markings eventually, but that time is not now, so don't worry about that. And so the bigger the brush, the more intense the blur is. And so for back here, because this is a hot mess, I'm going to make it pretty big so that it kind of blends together better. So we can mess around with that line right there because it's going to get covered up anyway. So in order to fix the lines, I'm just going to use the airbrush and go back over top of all this since it doesn't look so good. These are not the markings that were previously there, but that's okay because, as I said, we can always go back and mess around with this later. So it's not really an issue. We're going to have to turn this opacity way down because of the blurry photo. But now you're just going to follow the line arts and select all of the, geez, let me turn it down even more. You're just going to select everything, like just go along your outline. I'm so bad at commentating. Go along your outline, your line art, with the polygon tool. And this is going to delete all of the excess, just excess horse, I guess. So then we're gonna just take this all the way around, double tap, and then delete. And so now you have a nice clean line that you can see. There, it looks a lot better. So now let me do the rest. And there we go. So we have a cleaner version of the horse's body. So now we have the body. I'm sorry that my neighbor all of a sudden decided to start weed whacking. It's highly unfortunate because my window is right next to his yard. But we're just gonna try to ignore that, and hopefully you guys don't hear it, but I hear it and it's quite annoying. So now what we're going to do here, leave the body on for the most part. I think that's what I usually do. So we're not gonna reposition anything yet. We're just gonna flip this and carry it down here. And oops. So now we're going to do the same thing we did with the body, just kind of go piece by piece. So we'll start with this. This is just kind of I mean, the moral of this is that it's a pretty aggravating process and it's never easy no matter how you do it. But usually it's worth it in the end. And so if you want, and I'm going to because I really like, my favorite thing about this horse is these spots on its legs. And so we didn't end up with many spots on this leg. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the magic wand tool, which basically selects for you. And so we're gonna turn the tolerance up pretty high so it will select the whole horse and not just a certain spot. Because if you have it set low, then it's only going to select a certain color, which is pretty pointless, honestly, unless you're doing something that is all one color. So the reason we're doing this is so that we do not have to go back and fix stuff. So we're just going to select the dark. So as you can see, if I just do that there, it doesn't go outside of there. So anyhow, let's give this guy his little spots back, his adorable little spots, because they are adorable. And there we go, now he has some more spots on his leg. To do the hooves, I actually usually do the hooves in a separate layer. I do the hooves in their own layer. So again, copy, paste, and I'm going to put it underneath of the leg, so it's less work. So to do the hooves, I will either just actually take the hoof and just, you know, mess around with it like this, which is what I might do today, but otherwise, simply because I'm in a lazy mood today, otherwise, I would just take the, this is driving me crazy, I would just take the colors from the hoof and then just, you know, draw the hoof on. But since this hoof does not have much shading on the very top of it, so like underneath of here, we are going to add some shading there, because real horses have a lot of shading under there. Well, it's not even shading, it's just the hoof is colored that way for whatever reason, just naturally. And it has that. But now, this is kind of hard to do, shaping the hoof. But I think that that should be good. Just take the opacity up, look at it from, yeah, that looks good. So then once we're done with that, we can go to this other layer and delete all of that and that. And there you go. If my mouse would stop freaking out. Then we have a leg. We have a leg. And now you're just going to do the same thing with the other leg, and well, with all the legs actually. So, you know, you might as well just enjoy this little speed edit here. And so here we have an issue that you're going to encounter probably a lot, which is when you go to blur something together, there's going to be a gap here. And so, or like a, where the background is showing through the horse. And so in order to fix this, what I usually do is I just have a layer. And also if you double tap a layer, you can name it. So like this is going to be what I call just the filler. So we can call that filler, you know, hooves, I don't know. Anyhow, in the case of having one of these gaps, I will just select the color near it and then just color underneath of there, and then it fills that in. And there you go. No more problem. Alright, so we have the body, and I'm not sure what happened with the front leg here. As you probably saw on the speed edit, I was struggling with that a little bit. I don't like how skinny this leg is back here. I just kind of don't like it like that. There we go. So, yeah, as you saw there, I was having a little bit of issue with that leg. I don't know, it just didn't look right. Like, no matter how I put it, it just didn't seem right. But we got it now. So we're gonna merge all that together. And so I'm gonna work on the spots and stuff last. I'm still not worried about that. This little bit of the mane, however, does need to go because it's kind of in the way. There we go, no more mane. And so now we're gonna work on the head and neck. So let's find the screenshot. So this is the one of the neck. So now we're just going to select the neck and do the same process over. This is going to be really hard because of the mane, but I'm not too worried. Like, I don't know though, because I might want to just like hop on Star Stable and put his mane in braids and then change it back. I think I'm going to do that actually, so enjoy this time lapse of that. Alright, we have a better screenshot here of my horse's neck. So we're just gonna select only his neck. I'm gonna use my mouse this time since it doesn't seem to have as many freak out moments as my tablet does. So what I usually do for the neck is I will usually actually have the layer underneath of the body. And you'll see why shortly, I'm sure. But a lot of people start from the base of the neck and go up. I start from right behind the head and go down. I don't know why, but it just seems easier for me. But you do not have to follow my stupid ways. Alright, so there we go. And the reason I have this underneath of the body is because like otherwise it'll overlap and then it's just kind of a pain to try to fix it. So I prefer to do it like this. And so I've been using my mouse. I usually use my mouse when I'm repositioning something, but if I'm actually drawing, I will use my little tablet here. And so now we're just going to go back in and touch up the obvious lines, such as that muscle right there, as well as this one, and as well as fix that because it's an obvious line there. We don't want an obvious line now, do we? Oh, there goes my neighbor with the leaf blower, so you don't have to listen to that, you can just watch me do this. But now we got this, so now we're gonna do the head, which a lot of people will like redo the eyes and whatever, but I usually don't bother with that. I just use the horse's head as it is. And yeah, so watch me do that. So I will tell you, doing the horse's head, it's like the line art is not always right and it will look not so good sometimes. So to do the head, you just gotta kind of play around a little bit. So like I might do my horse like holding his head up a little bit. Like I like the head down, but I also am lazy and don't want to have to patch that up. But it depends, we'll see. It's like you just gotta like that actually looks pretty good. Usually it will come out looking not how it's supposed to, but this one isn't that bad, so it might be worth it to try to fix this. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do the make, but I think you'll see. But the tail I might actually well, I'll show you how I do my ways of doing manes and tails.
So we don't need to select all this, we're just going to select a portion of the horse's tail here. And we're going to copy it, and oh my gosh, we got to paste it. And then, just move this down here. And now we're just going to use the line art for the tail. And so we're going to just select the line art. It's not, okay, yeah, we're going to do it like this. It's kind of hard sometimes, you know. But I will say, you will never, well, I mean, that's not true. Like I was gonna say, like your first edit will never be that awesome, but that's not at all what I meant. What I meant is it does require some practice. You can, sure, you can have a great edit like right out the gate, but it's rare. Mine was pretty okay, but it was not anything like what I do now. So I'm just gonna say, like, if you download this program, if you get a drawing tablet, it's not gonna instantly make you the best editor or drawer ever. So just keep that in mind, because I have heard a lot of people complain. It's like, this didn't work. It's like, no, you just gotta practice. I don't know what this glitch is, but when you have something selected, sometimes it will actually like still get stuff outside of the, you know. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to, as you see, I just selected the color from the tail and then put it on there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to select the lighter color, and we're going to use the airbrush, and we're going to make it pretty small, and then you're just going to draw each and every hair. I usually do it pretty sloppily. Is sloppily a word? I'll have to look in my dictionary. But I do it pretty, just kind of la-di-da-di-da. I don't really put much effort into it because it's not really that noticeable. I've noticed, no pun intended, it's not that noticeable, but I noticed it's not that noticeable. So I don't worry too much about it.
And so then, like, you can make your brush bigger, and you can have bigger, little. It's an oxymoron. You can have bigger lines throughout your horse's tail. And then, of course, you're gonna wanna find a darker color so that you can shade the, like, underneath of your horse's tail. And just like so. And then you have a tail, as well as this that is not supposed to be there, but it still ends up there somehow. So then you can delete this once you're done with it. And his tail's a little small. You can make it bigger. All you have to do to make it bigger, that was my dog snorting for whatever reason. All you have to do to make it bigger is, like I said, Command T, and there you go. You have bigger, longer, beautiful tail. That's a little too big, but it's beautiful. It's fine. And then I don't like this bit right here, so I'm going to keep on doing a little editing here. And then we're going to do the mane, which is the same process. So since you saw me do the tail, you can just sit back and watch me do the mane. And there we go. I think we're done with the manes and tails and all that jazz. The mane is a little short for my liking. That's a little better. Alright, so here's our pony. I guess the pony is completed, other than this little spot here I forgot to blur. Now we're going to do the same process for our rider. Usually I do not mess with our rider, like I do not mess with the rider that much usually, so we're going to do this now. As you can see here, I'm just adding some shadows, make it a little more realistic. I don't need to add many. How I add shadows is I will just take full black and use the airbrush and just simply turn the opacity down on it, and then there you go, you have some pretty decent shadows. Alright, so now we can merge everything together. Whoops. So you gotta be careful about the way you merge your layers. It is time to add us a background. There is a website by a girl, I don't know what her actual name is, but if you go to Instagram, she has an Instagram called Amira Harrington. And she also has a website called SSO Workshop.
2,000 years later.
Alright, so I think I found the background I want to use. I've used this one before in another edit, but it is pretty fitting for this edit we got going on right here. So, I just made the canvas bigger, as you can see, and so once we got what we got, we got what we want. I mean, we can just crop this, but for the time being, it's just gonna stay the way it is. And so in order to make it look like our horse is really truly galloping, we're gonna need his hooves to be in the sand a little bit, you know. So in order to do that, all you have to do is just cut off a bit of the horse's hooves. And that should do it. Do not forget to add your signature wherever. I like to add mine close to the horse, so that way if anyone did desire to steal a photo of mine and say it was theirs, it's pretty impossible to crop the signature out. And so you can either just write it, or I just use text tool because this editor, this Fire Alpaca, does have some pretty nice fonts. My favorite being the very last one. I don't know how you pronounce it, and I'm not about to because I will butcher it, I know. But I just put my initials and the year, pretty much. And then you can just adjust the size. I think I will just put it right there. So then once you're done, this is, if you haven't realized, I am using an iMac, so I can't guarantee you this is the same for all computers, but how to save it, I usually do not save it. I use export, and I will just send it straight to my files, and I will usually just put the horse's name. So this horse's name is Wild Strawberry, so I will just put, it's not how you spell strawberry. Nope. Strawberry. And then save it to where you want it. So documents, and then save, and then it should immediately pop up in files. And there it is. And then I will drag it to my photos. I do not close an edit until I am certain that it has been saved. And when I'm not certain it has been saved until it is safely in my photo gallery. There we go. There we have our final edit, and I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. The footage from this is 2 hours long, so I hope you learned something from me. I hope you enjoyed watching this if you didn't learn anything, and I just hope that this 2 hours of my life that I can never get back was worth making this video. Or the video was worth wasting 2 hours of my life that I can never get back. That's what I meant to say. Anyway, I do hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. And yeah, I'm sorry that I am so bad at explaining stuff, and I'm so bad at commentating. But anyway, as I said for the 5th time, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. Peace. I still made a peace sign with my hands even though you can't see me. I need to take a nap or something. All right, bye.